All right, you're in the right place if you're a real estate professional looking to help next generation home buyers create wealth through real estate. In this class, we're going to talk about who these clients are, the unique challenges that they face, how they get their information, and how you can become their trusted guide in the process. So if that resonates with you, fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be an enjoyable ride. So, of course, you're probably wondering, well, who is this guy who is teaching this class? So I'll share a little bit about myself here. So I'm a husband of Tamara, and we've been married 34 years. And we have 4 children, 2 grandchildren, and an entitled dog who likes to go swimming in our pond. Our children range in ages from 28 to 20. So that does, you'll find out later, that does fit into the next generation homebuyer age range. And all but our youngest and her husband are homeowners. So 3 out of the 4 have bought a house, including our youngest son, who's there with his wife, and our second grandbaby. He is in the Army. So they were had a permanent change of station from Germany to Georgia here earlier this year. And so they bought there in Georgia. So, and then professionally, I'm a producing branch manager for the Wells Funding Group. And I hold I'm a certified mortgage planning specialist, certified mortgage advisor, certified divorce lending professional, and a veteran mortgage advisor, which all that to say is that I really have a heart for education. I want to make sure that our clients have all of the resources they need, the education, the empowerment to make really great decisions when it comes to buying a house, or maybe realizing that they need to do a few things to get ready to buy, but make sure that people are making great decisions there. And I really want this class to not be a lecture, but be a interactive. So I will be asking some questions and things, getting your feedback from time to time here. Would you agree that we have a crisis in America where a lot of younger people feel like maybe home ownership is out of reach?
Definitely.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I think it's the Japanese symbol for crisis is the same one for opportunity, right? So when there is a crisis, there's an opportunity for those of us who are professionals to step in and be a hero for these people, for this next generation. So that's what I'm really excited about. I'm excited to share with you what we have, going to help these folks transition from where they are to where they want to be. So, all right, talk a little bit about the next generation home buyer. So, why we should care about the next generation home buyer? Well, unless we're going to be retiring today, we need to understand the changing landscape of today's real estate buyer, because that's crucial to our business success. We could talk a little bit about just the amount of changes that we've seen in real estate, even over the last couple of years. But if you go back, say I've been in the business 15 years, and it's quite a bit different even in that short amount of time. So the Generation Z and Millennials, they are the demographic shift that is the largest share of buyers, and they're reshaping how homes are bought and sold. And the buyer's journey is shifting. So traditional approaches are becoming less effective with the tech savvy generation, and trust, education, and technology is going to win. So what do these new buyers look like? Okay, so their ages are 18 to 44, mostly first-time home buyers. Anyone want to guess the average age of the first-time home buyer this year based on the NextGen home buying report that was put out just a couple months ago?
I think NAR said 38.
Yes. Yeah, 38 years old, which to me is kind of the essence of the crisis, right? I mean, because real estate is like any other investment. The longer that you're in it, the more you benefit from it. So like if you have someone who's 18 and they put, $2,000 into, the stock market or mutual fund or something like that, and don't do anything with it till they're 65, they'll end up with way more money than someone who waits to be like 35, 38 and starts investing, even if they invest more money. The same thing with getting into being a homeowner. The longer that, you have in a home or in, it doesn't have to be the same home, but in real estate, the more equity that you can grow and the more net worth you can grow. So that age is way too high. They're a diverse digital first generation. They're distrustful of the industry. So research has shown that they, are doing extensive research, whether it is, Chat GPT or Google, or other sources before they're even going to engage with professionals. And 68% trust friends and family for home buying information, um, which may explain why, you end up with, parents and things coming along on the showing, and that can present its own challenges there. So the average age of the first-time homebuyer is 38. Anyone care to guess when most millennials will reach the age of 38, the largest percentage of them? Next year, 2026. So we have, we have a wave of more first-time home buyers that are coming along. And then, of course, there's others following behind them as well. So understanding, who they are and what's motivating them, their desires, needs, and fears. So 95% of this next generation home buyer wants to own a house, but they need a simplified process and a trusted guide, and their biggest fear is lack of financial knowledge and uncertainty. The uncertainty is probably communicated a lot with well, I'm waiting for housing prices to come down. I'm waiting for interest rates to come down. I don't know if the houses are going to continue to increase in value. And they get a lot of that information from, media, which, we know is not necessarily the best source for that. So what's blocking this next generation? Affordability. 69% of the next generation home buyers that generation that were surveyed said that rising home prices and interest rates create significant barriers for them in the home buying process. Confidence gap, right? Only 42% feel like that they are mortgage ready. Debt, so whether it's credit cards, student loans, and other obligations that, may limit their purchasing power. And 82% said they received little or no formal financial education in school. We learned all these things like the Pythagorean theorem and pi and how to calculate circumference and all of those things, but we don't learn how to use credit cards. We don't, by and large, we don't learn how to balance a checkbook. They don't understand how student loans work. They go to college and they get a free T-shirt by signing up for a credit card and don't understand the ramifications of interest and all those things. And there is a distrust in professionals. So the trust in realtors, loan officers, and banks is low right now. So an interesting kind of aside that's not in there is that the number one place where this next generation homebuyer goes for information is financial planners. So it's a great opportunity to connect with financial planners and implement some of these strategies with them as well. So if they don't trust realtors, loan officers, and banks other than friends and family, where would you guess the number one place for the next generation to go to get their information, their education about home buying and finances in general? You're muted there, Heidi. I think there you go.
Yep. Either YouTube or Google.
Yeah, exactly. So 66% are going to YouTube, you know, and pretty much anything anymore that I want to do, whether it's, you know, an organic weed killer or, how to reset my TV. I'm going to YouTube, finding something about that. Other social media is 40%. Finance apps are 44%. NerdWallet, Credit Karma, um, uh, Lending Tree, all of those kinds of apps, or Zillow, Redfin, they're going there. So, kind of as an aside, if you don't have a YouTube channel that you're working with, I would encourage you to start doing that. It's not too late to get in there, and it is, you're going to where people are, and you're providing education there. So with this next generation, they need trust and confidence. So they still want real estate agents and they still want lenders, but they value expertise, but are more cautious about who they work with. 59% say that now is not a good time to buy. Market perception is creating hesitation among potential buyers. That's coming from the media for sure. But agents and lenders who partner together to help buyers get ready and play the long game will win more deals. So it's about building trust, providing education. Those are the keys to win the next generation buyer in today's market. All right, so the problem. Most not ready leads are not nurtured properly. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not that good at all and 5 being perfect, how would you rate your current lead nurture follow-up system? And if you want to throw that in the chat, you can as well. And we can talk a little bit about that also. So does anybody do anything so according to the statistics I've seen, about 15% of 15% of leads are ready to go right now, especially online leads, whether they're Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever. 85% are 90 days plus out. And anybody with those do anything other than put them on some kind of a drip campaign or connect them with your home search app. Mailers, okay, that's a good one. Yeah, put them in your mailing program so that they're hearing from you once a month, once a quarter. Cool. Would you agree that leads that don't convert quickly are often abandoned, missing long-term opportunities? I talk with people that are, that help people through Zillow, for example. And what seems to happen is, the lead comes in from Zillow, they're not ready, they put them on some kind of a campaign, and then, when they are ready, they end up getting farmed back. They go back to Zillow, get farmed out to another agent. And so it ends up being a missed opportunity there. So what's the solution? Well, what we see is the solution is a system. James Clear, in his book, Atomic Habits, says if you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And not now doesn't mean no, but strategic nurturing turns early stage prospects into confident buyers over time. So does that make sense? And does that sound interesting to you? So it's called Manifest with Us, and it is an app that is the system to attract, nurture, and convert early stage buyers to relationships and closings. And this might not be for you, but this is what we use with all of our agents to convert these long-term leads. So what does it do? Okay, so we build trust and we create confidence. So the Manifest with Us app provides a mortgage readiness plan for the client. So it has credit tools, budgeting, market insights, education, goals tracking, and action plans. So, and as an agent, you are going to be able to get updates. So you track the buyer progress, home search, saved alerts. If they have a house with the app, they can keep track of their home's value, and they can reach out for a CMA and all those things through the app as well. So the process is the buyer gets the app, builds trust. That providing valuable tools creates immediate value. It establishes credibility for you, and it's co-branded with you. So when they do get the app, they see your picture. If they have any questions, they're reaching out to you, and you see their progress as they move along. And so you might be saying, well, why do I need another app? Okay, well, this app combines multiple digital tools that would otherwise lure consumers away from you, right? So a lot of people are on Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, those kinds of things, and they don't realize that they're not out of the goodness of their heart giving people their credit score. They are selling them debt. They are selling their information to third parties. Or they're going to somewhere like LendingTree and NerdWallet to get mortgage education and lending research. And again, their information is getting sold. And of course, we know what happens when they go on Zillow and Realtor.com. An interesting thing about the property search, I don't think that's the most valuable part of this app. I think the credit monitoring and the mortgage education is by far the best. But with the property search, there is a way for them to utilize AI in there. So you can put in whatever your zip code is, say, I want to see every house that has stainless steel appliances in the kitchen and a walk-in pantry, and it will literally search the MLS and bring you those particular houses to the front, so you can see those. So it's kind of interesting, but again, it keeps them all in that ecosystem, so they're not out there getting pulled different places or taking out more debt, which makes them, less qualified to buy a house. We'll take a quick look here at the mobile app, and I can share this video with you as well that you can share with your clients.
Welcome to Manifest with Us, your home ownership guide. Start where you are and let us guide your journey. Best of all, it's free. With Manifest with Us, monitor your credit score, review your report, and simulate improvements to move closer to home ownership. The Home Ownership Snapshot delivers a personalized mortgage readiness assessment and action plan, customized for your goals. Explore homes, save your favorites, and assess how they fit your financial goals right inside the app. Need guidance? Connect with your loan officer or real estate agent directly from the app whenever you are ready. Manifest with Us, guiding your journey to home ownership step by step. Get your manifest with us. Invite link from the mortgage or real estate professional who shared this video.
So, all right. And if you want to scan the code, you can actually try it for yourself. You get to see the app, the landing page, what it looks like from the consumer's perspective. Go ahead and if you want to create your own account, that's super helpful as well. And then, later on when we go ahead and get together and, create one of your own, we can just merge all of that together. So, yeah, and you're right. So it is, it is like a mortgage update, but it's like your mortgage update in that pre-contract area where it's kind of like, like no man's land, where a lot of times you don't really know what's going on, and you don't want to be bugging them every day. But another thing we can talk about too is how you nurture your database, right? So if maybe you have 1,000 people in your database, how do you know who to call first? Well, if you have a tool that is letting you know when Joe Smith is playing around in the app, that's a good one to call because it's top of mind for them. All right, so and really the goal is to lead to a transformation. So before, right, we had ghosted leads. As an agent, you're frustrated. There's marketing dollars that are spent that you're not seeing a return on that investment. When we implement the buyer readiness app, it is co-branded with you as the agent. There's an automated follow-up, and then in a short amount of time, you're going to end up with ready buyers, engaged agents, and more closings. So, whether you're a solopreneur or if you have a team, we can, we can really scale this for success, whatever your platform looks like. All right, and so the impact of this is that buyers feel empowered and supported. Because they're self-directed mobile app with professional guidance and no pressure. Um, you know, One of the things that I think is universal for human beings, we don't like to be embarrassed. So if we don't know something, you know, like in school, you're very rarely going to raise your hand, right? But that's, the beauty of YouTube is you can research anything and no one, it's just videos, right? And so this is a way that we can help people in a way that feels helpful to them, that we're providing education, we're providing value without them feeling like they're dumb. Okay, so they feel empowered and supported. You as the agent stay in the loop without chasing updates and without hounding them, without sounding salesy, without doing a bunch of cold calls. And you know, as a team, the lender and the agent become the advisory team that builds trust. So it's a true partnership throughout the buyer journey. And one of the benefits of this is that now we're no longer a commodity. One of the, I think the downfall of the online lead, wherever it comes from, is that you're simply a commodity. You are, what agent can open the door the fastest? What lender can pre-approve me the quickest? Who's going to give me the lowest rate? Who's going to give me the lowest commission split? Whatever it is that they're going to do, it's you're just a commodity. Whereas if we are building value and we're showing them, how much more we are worth than, you know, the other lenders or the other realtors, there's a partnership with them, and it can really create clients for life. One thing that I also believe about people is that, the enjoyment of the experience isn't complete until we have told somebody about it. Okay, so like if you go to a new restaurant that's really amazing, you might have a great meal, but the ultimate is that you get to tell somebody else, hey, I went to this restaurant and it was amazing. Or I went and saw this movie and it really moved me, or whatever. And so part of the enjoyment of the thing is sharing with other people. So when people really feel taken care of and they feel like they've received a lot of value, they're going to want to tell their friends and family about it, and coworkers. So couple of case studies. Here are just some ways that we can use this together. So here is one lender that worked with agents to create home buyer classes, and 40 people attended her first in-person home buyer seminar, and then it expanded to 150 app users because, again, the people that got the app and they saw how cool it was shared it with other people. Despite having a very modest social media following, under 2,000 people, she rapidly experienced growth in her database because of this. And she was able to add value to her realtor partnerships. Okay, so it's not just about, how quickly can we close the loan, how many reviews can we get, and those kinds of things. It's, hey, how can we take people that aren't quite ready right now and get them into home ownership. And Darren Kaplan, he took a little different tack, but again, there's no right or wrong way to partner with us together. So he focused on credit challenged clients, incorporating the app into his one-to-one consultations, and he built a steady pipeline of over 100 future buyers over 6 months, and his realtor partners and him have closed 3 deals directly from the app. So I'm assuming that you don't get many calls from lenders saying, hey, send me everybody you have with crappy credit. All right, but we can do that. Anybody that someone's turned them down. Let's reach back out to them, share the app, let's get them back in the ecosystem. Again, it's there's no, it's simply not yet. Here's what we need to do to get you from where you are to where you need to be. So the buyer readiness app builds trust between agents, lenders, and next generation buyers. And we keep agents top of mind through the buyer journey, converting more leads into closings. So what is next? So you've seen how this tool helps agents stay connected with the next generation buyer so that you're the agent they'll come back to when they're ready to move forward. And if you're curious as to what this would look like in your business, I would love to show you that. And I don't know if I've shared this or not, but there's no cost for you as an agent for me to provide this to you, for me to do that. There's no cost for your clients to have this either. So, and they really, I have an enterprise account. They don't charge me that much either, but it's free for you as the agent. It's free for your client. All I'm asking for, we'll have a spot later on, is one-on-one meeting where we can talk about the strategies you want to implement in your business and how we can work on this together. Because there's several different ways that we could go. So, for example, we could sit down and review your database and look at, hey, all of those people that raised their hand on Zillow, Realtor.com, Facebook, Instagram, or that we know through our sphere that aren't ready right now for whatever reason, and we can share the app with them. And sometimes they have the income, they have the money, they have the credit. It's just not a good time. Maybe they're getting married in 6 months. Maybe they just started a new job that they want to get a little bit more settled in. Okay, so it's not just for credit challenged people, but it does help those. Your lead reactivation plan. Again, maybe there's some old lead, cold leads that we can reach out to together. And hey, are you still interested in buying a house? And if you are, here's how we can do that together. We could co-host a home buyer readiness workshop. And in a second here, I'll show you some different workshops that I would be happy to partner with you on. And then all of those are designed to convert more buyers, turning prospects into confident, mortgage-ready homeowners, home buyers ready to be clients for life. May have mentioned this a little bit. I am an ambassador for First Home IQ, and that is a nonprofit that is designed to help this next generation get into home ownership. So they want to lower that average age from 38 to younger. They're looking to fill that gap that the younger generation says that they have because they don't feel like they got financial education in school. So there are more seminars that we can do than this, but I just pulled out 4. There's a path to home ownership. How do you build your credit score? Renting wisely. Rent is not a 4-letter word as long as you have a plan. Okay, so could be that you're renting in an apartment so that you get used to having to pay money every month to live somewhere, or maybe you are not convinced that this is the area that you want to live in long term, or this isn't the job that's ultimately where you're going to be at. Renting is okay. Introduction to money matters. So how budgeting works, how credit cards work, and what happens with student loans, and no, they're not going to be forgiven, and yes, they can actually garnish your pay now, and take your tax refund if you don't pay your student loans. So it's a serious business. So the First Home IQ, actually part of my buyer process now is a pretty extensive consultation before I even pull their credit, but I connect them with First Home IQ, which there is a home buyer quiz so that they can understand what they know and what they don't know, which I also get that information as well. So we know, hey, here's some things that we need to talk about to make sure that you understand these concepts in home buying. And then after they take the quiz, they have access to all of these classes that it's kind of like, a mini YouTube channel with home buyer stuff in there, so they can learn about credit, budgeting, debt to income, all of those things. So, what was your? I guess first of all, has this been a productive use of your time? I want to make sure that that I took care of you and didn't waste your time here today. Yeah. So, number one takeaway, what is one thing from this that you would like to implement in your business? All right. Cool. Now you guys are putting stuff in the chat there. Um, all right. So the best thing to do is scan the code and let's connect for a 30-minute strategy session. And, in the after you scan the code and you set an appointment, you will get an email with a couple items that I will need to put together your app. But then when we get together, we can, give you your app, explore the opportunities, maybe identify one or two different areas that that you'll want to explore. All right. All right. So who are the next generation home buyers? So we talked about that. Their needs, wants, fears, and desires, the challenges that they have, what they really want from you as an agent and from me as a lender, the problem with not ready now leads, and the solution that we had. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about a little bit more, or you had a question on? Cool. Well, I do want to invite you to our next class. The virtual class is going to be August 21st. We're talking about leveraging sellers' concessions, and especially if you have listings that that may be sitting on the market a little longer than you want, or a little bit longer than your clients want. We can talk about ways that they can leverage seller concessions to maximize the amount of money they get for their house, but also make the house more affordable for the buyers, and also making sure that the buyer's agent compensation is paid as well. So, several different angles to go there, and you'll see the numbers there. It's really kind of exciting that the amount of money that you can save by doing some concessions to buy down the rate, is way more than if they simply lowered the price. So it's math, but pretty exciting, and a great way to take a page out of the builder's playbook for sellers of existing homes. And then lastly, don't know about you, but anytime I'm going to do something, I'm always looking at their online reviews. So if this has been valuable to you today, I would be honored if you would scan the code and give me a 5-star Google review. And of course, any reviews that I get will be reciprocated as well. So I would love to help both of us build our business that way. All right. Thank you again for attending today. It's been a pleasure to present this to you. And like I said, we'll be doing an agent class here every month on different topics. If there is a topic that you would like to talk about, let me know, and I can see if I can put together an agent class for that as well for you. All right.